Welcome to another edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E. I am KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. How are you doing out there on Facebook, Twitch, X, YouTube, and of course on Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network? Little change in plans. Had planned to speak with Texas Southern women's basketball coach Vernette Skeete, but had a change of schedule. Coach now has the team has practice at this time of the day, so we're gonna have to figure out a way to get her on the show, be a part of the show. Maybe have to record a segment with her to be part of the Roundball Review Takeover on the lunch break. But at some point in these next 50 minutes and change, going to have Texas Southern's men's head coach, hopefully Coach Johnny Jones, will join me to talk about his squad and hopefully his team's non-conference schedule as they get ready for the upcoming season, the 23-24 season, and go for a repeat of winning the SWAC championship, conference championship, and getting back to the NCAA tournament. So not Coach Skeete, but Coach Jones. So we're still going to talk some TSU basketball here, just a little bit different. The ideal hope was to have both head coaches, Coach Skeete and Coach Jones, today, but we'll go with Coach Jones, and he'll join maybe 12:05, but he is slated to join when he can. I'm not sure if he'll be in the office, but who knows? With technology, we can all do it. It's all good. Texas Southern's head coach, Johnny Jones, will be joining us. But this is the lunch break. This is the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Thank you to my man, Andre A.J. Jones, for giving me the platform to talk with you, share my thoughts, opinions, insights on sports, not just hoops. You can watch the show on Facebook. You can watch it on Twitch, Twitter, X, on AJ's YouTube channel, as well as on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. And of course, once again, on Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If not, go to bs3network.com. I'm a basketball guy. Y'all know it. You watch this show, watch me and my guest appearances here on the lunch break with AJ, or you follow the Houston Roundball Review on any of the numerous platforms on social media. But I'm going to flip the script a little bit. I'm going to put up the football schedules for the Big 12, the American, and the SWAC. We'll talk some hoops when Coach Jones joins, or we'll talk hoops if Coach Jones can't make it. But recapping, Texas Southern Prairie View went overtime Saturday in the Labor Day Classic. Prairie View won on a field goal, 37-34. TSU led, I want to say 34-17 in the third quarter. PV scored the last 20 points to win the game. So if you are a TSU alum, and I know there are plenty who watch the show, watch the lunch break, watch the takeover, how upset are you? So one of my friends, he's a TSU alum. He was already commented on one of the platforms. All right, who should be our next head coach? So I don't know if you want to do that. If it's time for Coach McKinney to go after one game, after loss to PV, but share your thoughts with me here in the comments section on this Roundball Review Takeover. So we're going to talk about that. I mean, it's just one loss. It's a bad loss. I mean, yeah, because you're up 34-17 and lose 37-34. That's not great. But let's look at the SWAC schedule for this weekend. First things first, let me make it a little bigger here. There we go. TSU's on the road at Toledo this Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. That game is available on ESPN+. Savannah State at Bethune-Cookman, 2 p.m. on a network that is brand new to me. I had not heard of the Cat Eye Network until a few hours ago when I was putting this slide together. So anyone let me know how to find, I'm assuming there's an app for it, but the Cat Eye Network. You can catch Savannah State at Bethune-Cookman, 2 p.m. Central. Next, Miles College at Alabama State, 5 p.m. Surprisingly, no streaming for that at all in this 21st century. Alcorn State goes to Stephen F. Austin, 6 p.m. Another game, according to the SWAC website, not available on a streaming platform. Interesting. Next, Arkansas Pine Bluff at Tennessee State, 6 p.m. That game is available on HBCU Go. Coach Jones said he's trying to join in. No worries. We got plenty of time to talk hoops with him. So he's minutes away. Next, Florida A&M. I'm kind of curious to see how this one goes. Florida A&M, big butt kicking over Jackson State a few days ago. They go to South Florida. Yes, I know it's different levels of football. I know that. South Florida is a new program, first-year head coach at South Florida. But I just want to see how big of a difference in talent is there between FAMU and the Bulls of South Florida. That game, 6 p.m. on ESPN+. Jackson State looking to bounce back at Southern, 6 p.m. also on ESPN+. Prairie View hosting Abilene Christian. So PV gets a chance to bounce back. Let me see. I'm going to take a quick break here, help out Coach Jones, and we'll figure this out. But you are watching The Lunch Break on the BS3 Network.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 Network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central.
Welcome back. You are watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku via the BS3 Network. Working it out, Coach Jones should be joining us momentarily. Technology, you know how you just make it roll. That's how I do it here on the Takeover. We just roll with the punches. Good afternoon to Ben at BS3 Network. Getting back to the SWAC football schedule for this weekend. Abilene Christian at Prairie View, 6 p.m. PV trying to improve to 2-0 after their come from behind win over Texas Southern last Saturday in the Labor Day Classic. Lane College at Alabama A&M, 6 p.m. And then last last, I'm just going to say this, just last. Grambling State at LSU at 6:30 p.m. That game is available on the SEC network. So that, well, I'm not expecting a lot from that one, but we'll see. All right, bringing him in, true to his word. Head Coach Johnny Jones. Coach, how are you?
Doing great, and yourself?
Doing great. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me here on the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. If you don't mind, let me see. I believe your non-conference schedule has been finalized. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think I got it here. I pull it up on the slide here. See if this is accurate. Let me see if I got the right one. All right, Coach, does that look good? That look accurate to you?
That looks good. That looks good. Don't look like you put any other headaches on there for us. That looked like something we did. So it's complete.
Okay. First things first. Let's talk about. I'll put you on. Let's see if I can change screens here. All right. Let me see. All this fancy stuff here, Coach. You know, I'm learning on the fly. All right. Let's do it like that. First up was at New Mexico. I have a question for you because I'm kind of curious. Because one site has the Lady Tigers playing them as well. Which is it both of y'all playing?
I think
it's double hitter?
Yeah, I think it's the same day, and it wasn't anything designed on our part. We found out after our scheduling that our ladies were playing out there as well. I think they will play the early game, and we're fortunate enough to play the second game, so we'll be there hopefully to cheer each other on.
Okay. All right, because I was like, well, I'll find out if Coach is on today, so I'll find out. All right, next, let's go through it. At Arizona State, and that's part of the SWAC Pac-12 challenge series?
Right, exactly, and that's kind of a home and home for us, and we're very fortunate last year to play well. Won there at the tip in right there at the buzzer against a very good Arizona State team. They went on to become a ranked team after that game. I think they peeled off maybe 8, 9, 10 victories in a row. He played exceptionally well in the Pac-10, and we've got to return that game, obviously, as you see, on the 11th of November. So it's the second game of the season. It'll be an early test for us, and it's a challenge we certainly look forward to.
Then you're going to Virginia. That's another. I'll just say this before you get into more details of Coach, this is a tough schedule.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of our deal at the beginning of the season. We play a very difficult schedule, and we're hopeful that it certainly prepares for a very grueling conference schedule that we have year in and year out. But it's a good schedule for us. It's one that our kids enjoy, and they love the challenges, playing against difficult teams. And this was allowed to do that because, as you see the teams that's listed on there in Virginia, ACC, tremendous team, national champions a few years ago. And then you got Creighton, who certainly is playing extremely well and always in the NCAA tournament. So big challenge for us, and our guys are obviously know that it's going to be a test for us, but it's nothing that we back down from, something we certainly look forward to. Wish we had more home games here and to play at home, but when we have to go out and play those guarantees, it's kind of part of what we do, and was something that we've learned to embrace and to get ready for, again, very tough SWAC schedule that we play as well.
Well, after finals, December 16th and December 17th in Las Vegas, part of the HBCU Challenge. The team participated in that last season as well. But your thoughts on facing A&T and Howard in Las Vegas in the HBCU Challenge?
I thought it's a really exciting tournament out there. It's kind of a 2-game trip for you already scheduled. Actually, we're fortunate Jackson State will be out there as well. They will play these teams, the opposite team of us each day. So it'll be 2 SWAC teams out there in Vegas. Give us an opportunity, early look at each other, having a chance to see Jackson State, who's going to be one of the top teams in our league this year as well. And North Carolina A&T, a good basketball team, talented, and Howard as well, who done an exceptional job, and coach has done a great job there. So it's going to be 2 really good games against 2 HBCUs for us. just like our regular schedule. Last year, we went out there and split. And Chris Paul and his family, that organization, they've done a tremendous job of putting that event on. And when they called us and asked us to be a part of it again this year, certainly something we couldn't turn down, and was certainly looking forward to it, because they did an excellent job of not only taking care of us, but the fans who went out there last year from here, which was a lot of them, really enjoyed their time there in Vegas and getting an early look at their basketball team.
Are those games going to be on TV?
They were last year.
Right, I remember that.
And I don't think they will. I think the reason that they were late in releasing their schedule, they was trying to make sure that they got the coverage. So to be on one of the ESPN networks like it was last year, for sure.
And then the last two games of non-conference at home. So you do have two home games, Sanford and then CBS Houston. How difficult is it for you to get home games for your non-conference schedule?
Well, it's hard. We've been very fortunate to be good here at home. We've been blessed as well. We're having good teams and been able to go out on the road and win some big games. And as we've done that, going out to Oregon and winning at Baylor and winning at Texas A&M. And so it's really tough one for us to get road games at times early. And then so we're fortunate enough to beat a really good Arizona State team here last year. And so no team's going to really sign up to come in here and really play because of the success of this storied program over the years in terms of being able to win. But we're glad we've had a home and home with Sanford, and hopefully we can continue doing that. But I want to try to get more home games, because I would like for our fan base to see our team prior to our conference play. And I think that's going to do us a great service in helping to continue to try to build this wonderful fan base that we have here in Houston.
Last season, your team dealt with a lot of injuries. How challenging was it, or where do all those injuries, the amount of injuries, rank compared to other teams you've coached in your coaching career?
I'd have to say number one. That was the one.
Really?
I've had injuries with teams before, and you guys getting hurt and top players or whatever, maybe being out for the year. But the number of injuries and the way that things happen, and the number of guys we had out, especially right beginning of conference play. PJ Henry, as you know, is our leader and point guard and quarterback. He was out our first 9 conference games practically, and then it took him a little while to get his legs back under him when he came back. And the starting center Call was out our first 5 conference game. He was actually playing in the one, and then he wound up getting injured in the first game, and then he was out for another 4 or 5 games. So then we had guys starting to either go through illnesses from COVID, and then we had a couple of concussion protocols that we had to abide by. And so just one thing after another, and it was key guys, and at an unfortunate opportune time that those things were happening. But at the same time, it helped our team grow. Other guys were freshmen or redshirt freshmen was getting some minutes that they probably would not have gotten if all those guys were healthy. But we're very fortunate that those guys gained some valuable experience during that time and over that time period, and I thought they did well. We were able to win some of those games, but we went through a tough stretch. But at the end of the season, because of that and what it transpired and the experience that those guys got, certainly helped us in a 3-day tournament where we needed our legs, we needed the depth on our team, and that those guys were able to provide it for us.
I want to pull this comment up from Naveen. Just your thoughts on that Florida game from a couple of years ago.
It was remarkable. It was like being on the road and having an opportunity to play extremely hard, night in and night out, and going on the road. And Florida was a top 20 team when we went in there. And we'd just come off of a devastating, a big setback against Louisiana Tech. And obviously they were a very good basketball team, and our player wound up getting drafted by I think the Memphis Grizzlies at the end of the day, and Big Lofton, I think Kenny Lofton Jr. And but to go into Florida and to play as well as we did after a setback like we had against Louisiana Tech, and our guys were hitting on all cylinders. Told us the type of team that we had and we could be and really become, and culminate that into winning another conference title there at the end and going on into the NCAA tournament and winning the game. I thought it certainly meant a lot and showed a lot about the spirit of this basketball team, and being able to go on the road and against certain challenges like that was exciting for us.
Going back to last season, injuries, your team was getting healthy toward the end of the season, getting ready for the SWAC tournament. What was your message to your team before the SWAC tournament began?
Well, we just what we always do. Obviously, the slates are wiped clean. We were 8th seed, last team to get in to the tournament, but the slates were wiped clean, and it was something that we were certainly familiar with, being in that type of atmosphere and in that type of environment. We knew that we were healthy as a team really for the first time, and we had our numbers and we had our guys, and felt like we were playing well even down the stretch with a little bit of guys banged up. And when we got in there, we were playing the top seed in terms of Alcorn, and we knew we'd had 2 good games against those guys and played extremely well. And it was our time and it was our opportunity. And we just had to go out and lay it on the line, knowing if we got the win in that game, that we would be playing as the number one seed slot as well, and we would have an opportunity to rest. And we're fortunate we got off to a great start in that game and won it. But our guys understood what was at stake. We had several seniors on that team that had already won 2 rings, and it was an opportunity for them to three-peat. And I tell you, they really stood out and did a tremendous job, and they rallied around each other, and it was great for us. But my only message was to go there, lay it on the line. We've got an opportunity. The door is open for us, and great things can happen if we just continue to play like we're capable of playing. And those guys did a tremendous job of boring their necks and playing extremely hard.
And not too long ago, you and the team, last year's team, received your rings for a SWAC championship at the, I'm going to call it the TSU Fan Fest. What was that experience like?
I tell you, it was great. It was in a place that first annual Fan Fest that we had, and it was a way that we were going to welcome all 16 sports and introduce them to our fan base here. And it was open to all the students and the fans here around the city. And it was exciting for our guys. And so our guys love, our fan base and the other students that they're on campus here with and the other sports. So we decided that this would be a great day for us to receive our rings, as well as our golf team who had won the championship as well, and along with our cheerleaders who won a national championship. So exciting day for us, exciting for our guys, and for that to be the first day that they were able to see those rings and to put them on their hand. Those guys were really excited, and just the emotion that went through that and went through them, and to see that excitement, not only in the guys that received the rings, but the new guys that were introduced as the incoming guys as the first season here with us. They saw the excitement in the gym and having an opportunity to see that ring. It gave them some certainly additional motivation to want to be out there at the second Fan Fest next year, and hopefully receiving rings as well, because the rings are beautiful. They did an excellent job of designing them, and our guys really excited about them. And then the day I had a chance to go to the football game and be recognized at the Labor Day Classic. And so it was something our guys hopefully have been looking forward to doing each year. And it's not something we are hopeful that we have to take a break from anytime soon.
And it was the first Fan Fest that you just said. Hopefully have a second Fan Fest. Would you like to see the Fan Fest continue? I thought it was a great idea, and I thought it was a well-run event. What were your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. I thought our VP of athletics, I call him Coach Kevin Granger, but our VP, Kevin Granger, did an outstanding job of visualizing what could be really special, for all of our sports, in trying to kick off the season for us, in getting everyone involved. and I thought it was incredible for him to be able to bring those sports and reaching out and doing all those things to try to engage our fans, the student body as well. And it's only going to get bigger and better at the end of the day. I thought it was a lot of buy-in. A lot of people were really excited about it, and it's going to grow. And I'm looking forward to how this thing is going to grow over the next several years. But we're excited that Coach Granger is something that he decided to do, and I thought it was a big hit.
You mentioned the new guys. Who are some of the new players on this year's roster that fans can look forward to seeing once the season begins?
Well, I tell you, it's tough. Last year we lost, obviously 5 of our key guys that were really good and were part of championship teams and wearing rings. Some of them wearing 3 rings, or at least have access to 3 championship rings now. But the new guys that we have coming in, we're really, really excited about. We were motivated by, unfortunately, what happened to us last year in terms of our recruiting. How we were going to go about recruiting and guys that we were going to bring in, because we didn't want to get caught in what we got caught in last year. PJ probably was the only pure point guard that we had last year. And when he went down, unfortunately, things, we didn't have an additional quarterbacks. We feel like we've secured that now. And Jonathan Cisse, who's coming from Incarnate Word, averaged 17 points a game, and really, really be a good player for us. And couldn't be more excited about him. Very skilled, can play the 1 and the 2. Going to be able to help us. Weisinger is coming from. I think Jalen's coming from. I think it's Paris Junior College. Okay. He's from here in Houston, but Paris Junior College. Another guard who can really play the 1 and the 2, extremely fast. A really good quarterback, and someone that obviously we had a year ago could have really helped us as well. And that's something we're looking forward to him being a part. So that's going to give us 3 guards that can really play the 1 slot or the point guard position. And either one of those guys can play the 2 because they can really, really score the basketball as well. Deion Stroud is coming to us from Eastern Washington. He started off at Fresno State, and I think he's going to be exciting for our fan base to watch. About 6'5", 6'6", really, really bouncy, can really jump, play well in the open floor, and gives us reason to be excited. Then Kenny Hunter, about 6'9", about 235 from Louisiana Tech. Okay. He's a power forward. They can really stretch the floor, can shoot it, runs. He's a shot blocker, great rebounder, played exceptionally well at Louisiana Tech. And I just can't tell you what a huge get that is for us, especially the guys that we were losing last year. And to have him to be able to come in here at the caliber player he is, I couldn't be more excited. And then Jamar Young transferred from SMU to Memphis a year ago, didn't play redshirted, but he's 6'10", probably about 245, active, big guy on the block that I think will play well, going to take up a lot of space in there, can block shots, rebound, finish inside. So that's going to help us inside because we're really knowing that we had to do a great job of bringing key guys in because the caliber players we lost from a year ago. And then Xavier Ball was on our team but sit out last year because of surgery, and he's healthy and really shooting the ball well. Probably one of the best shooting big guys that I've had at any level at any school that I've been. And he's probably about 6'7", 6'8", and I think our fan base really going to be excited really about him. And so our folks got a lot of reasons to be excited this coming season, but that new group of guys certainly going to give us some of the depth that we did not have a year ago. And I'm excited about the new guys, the young cats that we had a year ago that's returning as well.
I was going to ask you, who you got coming back? Who are returners?
Well, obviously PJ, our quarterback, who was MVP of our conference last 2 years in the conference tournament, played extremely well. We saw how we really couldn't operate well without him because of what happened there to begin a conference play when he was hurt. And PJ's been phenomenal and probably have had the best summer off season that he's had since we've been here. And so it's last year coming up, and he's really worked hard and got his body right. And if our early workouts, he's been really key and been exciting to watch. Give us reason to be excited. Then Kobe Granger returning back. Kobe had a lot of bright spots for us last year, became one of our key defenders out there. He had a lot of the tougher matchups for us as a redshirt freshman last year, now coming into a sophomore year. But heck, we go down to play at Southern last year, and he wound up having 29 points on the road. Missed a couple of free throws there at the end where he could have had a 30-point game, but thought he played really well defensively, offensively, shot the ball well, kind of came into his own last year, which was good for us. And then Keelan Farouk, who had been playing power forward for us most of the year as a backup. When we lost our point guard in PJ, we moved him to point guard because he had played it at high school, and he went down and were able to beat Alabama State and Alabama A&M on the road with him starting and playing at the point. And we thought he did.
And those wins surprised folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was big because without PJ and I think Jordan Gilliam, our other point guard at the time, he wasn't on the trip because he had a concussion. So we had to move him, and those were big games for us. And I thought he did well. And then at Hampton, against Hampton, I think he had a huge game in the HBCU challenge that was out in Vegas. So really good. Shaqir O'Neal has had really a good offseason, best offseason he's had since he's been here. And it really gives us reason to be excited because he's really coming into his own now, getting into his body. He's worked really hard in the weight room. He's had a good offseason. And our early practice sessions that we've had, he's really shown a great deal of growth during these off seasons. So really excited about him as well. And Grayson Carter didn't play a lot last year, gave us some spurts, but he's healthy, 6'10", 6'11", now probably about 245, 250. Again, gives us some more depth there in the post that we didn't have a year ago. And then it was Chris Craig, who was a walk-on a year ago. He's back with us and played some major minutes for us last year. A little bit of a size matchup, but you could never tell because he was a true warrior and actually hit the winning shot for us last year against Jackson State, which was huge for us. So we're excited. I tell you, we're really excited. And Zarius Moultridge obviously played some moments for us last year with his athleticism and shown some good signs. He should be returning this year as well. And but that would be the makeup of our team outside of some of the walk-ons we will probably wind up having join our team this season.
Coach, sounds like you got a good mix of height, size is in weight, and guards and wings. So that sounds like a deep team.
I tell you, it is. It's one of the deeper teams that I've had an opportunity to coach here. And they're not only deep and we have numbers, but these guys are really skilled. They love the basketball IQ, play extremely smart, plays it hard, have really good understanding of the game. And we've got a good nucleus of guys that are returning that are that way, basketball guys. And then with the influx of guys that we had through our recruiting, our staff did a phenomenal job bringing some guys in to go along with those guys. And one of the big things, you can be as talented as you want to be, but if you don't have your chemistry, it's not going to work. And the chemistry of these guys getting along like a little family atmosphere, how close they are, it's really shown early signs that we could certainly have a lot of fun this year. And I can tell you, I'm excited every day I leave from work, and I'm really encouraged and excited on my way to work because I know I'm going to have an opportunity to work with these guys and see them, and then really looking forward to another great year.
Coach, in today's college athletics with the transfer portal, how difficult is it, I guess, basically to re-recruit your current players to get them to stay, and then on the flip side, to go bring players from the portal to your program?
Yeah, it's difficult, and but we're not the Lone Ranger. You know, it's for everyone. Top teams in the country. I think UConn won the national championship last year. We're in the same boat, really, when it comes to how challenging it is now. Unfortunately, maybe not have the resources and have the type of funding that a lot of other programs have, especially with NIL. But at the same time, some kids who've been in programs who have the ability to offer NILs, sometimes it doesn't really work out really for kids. And it's kind of unfortunate, I guess they would call it catch-22. You can go sign for the NIL and be in a situation where you don't really have a chance to play, showcase your skills. And unfortunately, if you're not showcasing your skills, putting up numbers and having good stats, and you're looking forward to playing professionally, it may be not the best place for you. So sometimes those guys are coming back to us in our program because they want to be in an environment where, one, they got a chance to win, other opportunity to maybe showcase their talent, skills, get some stats and some stat lines where their numbers is something that they could send and carry some weight. And we've been able to do that, and it's really worked in our favor over the last few years, a couple of years. And so it's not something we frown on. Obviously, we don't have it, but we work with what we do have. And we've been able to build a very good, solid basketball team and program with that. But I think when you talk about what we have in terms of resources and the new clock we've just got that's here, new weight room being built, we've got a lot of things going on here at Texas Southern University and facilities. And when we can go into a home or call and visit with parents and telling them about our graduation rate and how well our kids are doing here, people are reaching out to us more as much as we're reaching out to folks really wanting to come in and be a part of our program. But we have a lot of things to sell, a lot of positives going on, and those are things we really try to focus and concentrate on more so than things that we may not have access to.
How long have you been at TSU?
It's about to start my sixth season. And the good thing, I can look back, and I've got several guys that are playing overseas, just to recap a little bit of that stuff, that are making money, who possibly would have stayed at other places and been sitting and watching games that wouldn't have had an opportunity to be playing. And then Bryson Grisham worked out with and played in the summer league with the Brooklyn Nets. So a lot of positive things happened there. But about to start my sixth season, and couldn't be more excited. And I was telling somebody the other day, I'm as excited or more excited today than when I took the job that first year that I arrived here in 1819.
Well, I'll ask you about that. Why then did you decide to take the job at Texas Southern?
Well, I was assistant coach there. Just left LSU as a head coach. Spent a year at the University of Nevada with Eric Musselman. Musselman had worked with me at LSU for a year and went on and took the head coaching job in Nevada. So I worked with him. And then when this opportunity presented itself, we'd just come off a Sweet 16 there at Nevada. And I'm so familiar with it growing up in Louisiana. When I was coaching at LSU at the University of North Texas as the head coach, we played. And so I spent a lot of time in Houston anyway, because I have a lot of family that live here. I'm from Louisiana, but I have more family live in the city of Houston than I do in the whole state of Louisiana. So
really,
kind of home for me. So was extremely comfortable here. Knew what we were coming to. Coach Mike Davis and I are extremely good friends. I knew exactly what I was getting into. Dr. McClellan, who's our commissioner now, was the athletic director here at the time. I got to know him during that hiring process, and I'd heard some great things about him, and I knew that it was a good situation. It was run the right way. Fan base was great. Facilities was really nice. And so the success had been there too. Because when I was at Nevada, Texas Southern was actually in the NCAA tournament, and we happened to be at the same site as well. So it wasn't about why TSU, it was why not really TSU. So it was an opportunity that I ran to, and they certainly welcomed me here with open arms, and couldn't be happier.
And you touched on a little bit, but just how has Texas Southern evolved since you first arrived on campus to now?
Well, our job is not to just come and the status quo. I thought they had a lot of things in place here, and they've had some success here in the program. But we wanted to try and do things and hopefully take the program to new heights. We're fortunate enough in that first year to win 24 games. It's the most games won in a single season by any TSU program, and we had good kids and holdover kids from the season prior to. So we're excited about that. And then we had the COVID year, unfortunately, hit us. We're able to recover from that. And then to win, put together teams to win 3 state SWAC championships or conference championships out there at the SWAC tournament, I think speak volumes of the type of team and a program that we have here. And as excited as I get watching those kids walk up the ladder and snip those nets, at the end, I'm as emotional and as excited when I can stand at the end of our floor and watch our guys walk across that stage on graduation day, receiving their diplomas. And those things, and that's the reason I'm in the business. That's what I really enjoy. And I enjoy trying to impact the lives of young men and helping them continue to grow as people that they're going to be effective in the communities in terms of which they live. They're going to be great husbands, and so those are things that I really look forward to. And when I get up in the morning, that's what really motivates me. And we've been fortunate to have great kids in our program that we've been excited about, and they happen to be really good basketball players too.
What are your thoughts on the other Houston college teams like Rice, HCU, UH, TSU, and UH played last year as part of was the Cougar Classic, I think, right?
Right.
But just an overall thoughts on those other colleges in the area, in the city.
Well, I've really got, obviously a relationship. We scrimmage each year pretty much with Houston Christian. I've got a good relationship with the coach there. Coach Sampson and I go way, way back. And from recruiting days when both of us were assistants. He was at, I think, Washington State. I was at LSU. And we first met in Dallas, Texas, recruiting a guy by the name of Larry Johnson, who became Grandmama. And so we've known each other for a long time, and we've always kept in touch. And being so close now in proximity, we do get an opportunity to spend some time with each other and see each other and talk. And he's one who helped us get Bryson Grisham over here a year ago. So that's about our relationships and being close. And I've had an opportunity to be at some events or outings, with the coach from Rice as well. And we haven't had a chance to play each other and hadn't been around each other as much, but I certainly followed their program and what they're doing. And I'm excited, about the programs here in Houston and the coaches. I think they all do a phenomenal job. I think they're for the city at the end of the day, and you couldn't want anything more. So I think they've got a great core of head basketball coaches here in the city. I actually have a picture on the wall with all the coaches, head coaches, basketball coaches, and I think it was Lovey Smith at the time, and their great baseball coach, Coach Baker, in terms of football, and the football coaches from those respective schools as well. Have a big picture here hanging in my office, just a reminder when I come in and send those guys how lucky we are to be in the great city of Houston, being able to recruit.
That's one of the things I enjoy doing the Houston Roundball Review is I get a chance to cover TSU, UH, Rice, TSU. So got to know you over the years, Coach Sampson, Coach Para, Coach Cottrell. So it's part of the joys of doing what I do. So I'm very thankful you had time to talk to me today. Had a question from the viewers who were a little late because you touched on it a little bit, but Shaq's son is on the roster. A little bit about him.
Yep, I tell you, I'm really, really excited about Shaqir. He's had his best summer since he's been here. Has continued to grow. He's getting bigger and stronger. He's probably grown 1.5 inches to possibly 2 inches since he's been here. He's probably put on maybe 15 pounds or so. And so our fans going to see a different guy. And he may not be through growing, but in terms of his skill level, all the things that he's doing, what he's capable of doing, he's starting to be able to put those things together. So we'll have an opportunity to see him. Our fans will have a chance to see him this year because he's going to be a great contributor to this team. And I can't wait. When I say we've got depth, he's one of those key guys that I think that's going to play a major, major part in that. And can't wait. And what I like about him, he's a grind guy. He's got some toughness about him, great athleticism, is working extremely hard. And I've taken some time off away from here that his dad had him obviously working and doing some stuff with some other skill guys, NBA or whoever, who his brother was working out with as well. So he's come back and he's certainly put him another package together. And when I came in today, this morning, he was already heading to the floor to work out. We work out in the afternoon, but he was trying to get some work in this morning right after lifting weights. So that's how bought in he is, and couldn't be more excited for him and looking forward to a really good season from him.
Well, if you got fans who are watching the show, Miss Wanda Polk is happy for TSU. She is a true Houston Cougar alum, but she supports TSU as well. And of course, Coug fans know, or fans of the UH men's basketball know, and women's basketball as well, spent a year at H&PE while the Fertitta Center was being built, basically. So there is a bond, a connection between the two programs right down the street from each other. So it's all love from UH and TSU, at least on my end. And I know you feel the same way about Coach Sampson and his program as well.
Yep, I can tell you, Coach Sampson and I are so close. I watch his games all the time and can't wait to text him or whatever afterwards. He's doing the same thing. Generally, he's sending something after wins. Obviously, he had a special interest when Big Bryson was here, and he told me one night he was almost late getting into his pregame speech before a game because our game was running over. That Bryson was really playing well, and it may have been even the Florida game or something. Maybe he got caught up in watching. But you tell Ms. Polk, we really appreciate her interest in our program, and she certainly could pull for both programs. And glad because we're certainly the same way. The only time we're at odds is when we're playing each other, and unfortunately, we don't get an opportunity to do that enough.
Would you like to see that a few times going forward in the future? Not necessarily every year.
It was a good thing for us, and unfortunately for them, they had a tournament going on. Someone had dropped out and pulled out of the tournament. It presented an opportunity for us. It's a tough game, when you're really close to somebody. And I'm really good friends with Coach Sampson. We've got a really good relationship, and it's hard to really play friends. Because of the emotions and everything that go into it. But it was great for us because we're able to get a check. We walked pretty much across the road, bus right across the street. Didn't have to stay in a hotel. The meals, we were right here on campus. So it was a great opportunity for us, great for our fan base. I think our band was able to come over and join us. So it was a really nice and exciting time. And it's something that I think is really good for us. But I know how great their team will be year in and year out. We'll hopefully continue to grow our program. And if another opportunity, something like that present itself, certainly I'll take advantage of it. But it's a really, really tough game. One, not only on the floor, but just the emotion going into the week of playing a friend.
How about this matchup, Coach? TSU versus Rice. Naveen said it needs to happen.
Love to see it. Love to see it. I think they've got a great program over there, and the facilities, how they've gone in and redone their arena. And so I think it'll be great. Be great for our fan bases as well. And I think it'd really be a good home and home series to have them be able to come to our arena as well. And we've got a great place here to play, and we'd certainly look forward to going over to their place and play. But Coach does a tremendous job of working his schedule. He knows how he needs to build his schedule for his team to be at their best. But that's certainly something we would certainly welcome.
In these final minutes with you, Coach Jones, what do you say to recruits? Come to TSU. Come get an education and play basketball at Texas Southern University.
Well, it couldn't be in a better city to be able to do that. All that we have to offer, one of the largest media markets in the country. When I can tell kids that should you come here, you've got all the sports from the Astros to the Rockets to the Texans. You name it. And a lot of times when these professional athletes come to town, they move here, and in retirement, they still live here. I talk about the dream. I talk about the other folks that are around here like Hakeem and those folks that just live here in the city of Houston. And then when you graduate from here, it's an opportunity for you to get a job in a field that you may desire and love because of all the opportunities in a great city like Houston. The experience you're going to get here at an HBCU and being here on the campus, there's so much to do in the city during your time here that you just really couldn't pick a better place. And Houston's a phenomenal city. TSU is a great school to be at. And once guys are in here, how they've embraced it and fell in love, and some that have transferred in here and told me that they wish they'd have come here earlier. It gives us a reason to really be excited. And my goal when guys come in here, I hope they have the type of experience at the end of the day when things are over, when they say that Coach, if I had to all do over again, I'd come back and want to be a part of this program in TSU. We feel like our work has been done.
Texas Southern men's basketball head coach Johnny Jones. Thank you very much, Coach Jones, for joining me today on the Roundball Review Takeover. And I will see you during the season. Looking forward to it. Got me hyped, Coach, really.
Well, Chris, I tell you, we couldn't be more excited. And we want to say thank you, too, for your coverage and how you promote and put things out there for Texas Southern University and our basketball program as well. You do a tremendous job, and really appreciate you. Looking forward to fans coming out. We're going to have another phenomenal year. We'll be excited to watch. It's going to be a fun team, and looking forward to it. Thanks so much for your time, and go Tigers.
Thank you, Coach. You take care.
You too. Thanks now.
All right. Excellent. Excellent time with Coach Jones. And he did such a great job. Had him on for the whole show, basically. So that's great. And real quick recap. There is TSU's non-conference schedule. At New Mexico. First 7 games on the road. At New Mexico, at Arizona State, at Virginia, at Creighton, at Oral Roberts, at Drake, and then at Purdue. Ooh, boy, at Purdue. That should be interesting. Zach Edey and TSU's new big boys. Some guys, 6'10", 240. And then they go to Vegas, December 16th and 17th for the HBCU Challenge. That's Chris Paul's event. And then finally get some home games to wrap up December. Home versus Samford on the 21st. And then home versus the College of Biblical Studies. That's what that is. College of Biblical Studies, Houston, on December 28th. Final minute and change before I close it out with comments from Sybil Wilkes. UH football goes to Rice this Saturday for the Bayou Bucket. Quick comment from Coach Dana Holgerson about Rice.
A little bit. What does Rice do well?
They got a lot of defense. They got a lot of offense. They do a lot. Okay, so just as far as the game, this is the third time. Actually, it's the fifth time for me. But this game has been played. Obviously, a trophy game. Bayou Bucket. Hopefully, it stays right here at the University of Houston. 45th game, I believe. So I know this game means a lot to a lot of people. It means a lot to both teams. Crosstown rival, great history. This game's always hard. it's a challenging game. It's back and forth. It has been for 45 games. So, I know this is one that means a lot to them. We've won it, I think, 7 years in a row at this point. That's never happened before. So we will expect a challenging game. They were one play away last year, as we all remember. Came down to the last play. They're going to play hard. They're a well-disciplined team. They play their tail off, and they're just, we know what kind of kids they are over there. They're incredibly intelligent, well-coached, but they do a lot, which makes it challenging to prepare for. Makes it challenging to play against and play for, to prepare for. But we've done it successfully the last couple of years.
Head coach Dana Holgerson right there, UH head coach for football. Those clips are on the Roundball Review YouTube channel, as well as the new Folks Talking Sports YouTube channel, as also on the Folks Talking Sports Instagram account and TikTok account. So, got Houston Roundball Review and well as the Folks Talking Sports platforms branching out, closing it out on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Thank you to Naveen, Alan, Miss Wanda, Tony M for commenting via the YouTube channel. Thank you to Ben and BS3 for having the show on the BS3 network on Roku. And as always, as everyone who knows, who follows the Houston Roundball Review, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.